Hello everybody and welcome to BarkerModern.com. My name is Chad Barker and today I'm going to show you a tutorial about how to make a mudroom bench cabinet that can store your shoes, that can run some coat racks across the top here, can store some stuff in these big drawers, and even have more junk hidden behind these doors up here. Yeah, it's my house. Lots of junk. So anyway, here we go. Let's get started. Today what I'm going to do is kind of show you a general overview of the design. Then I'm going to design both groupings of cabinets. And then that's it. I'll let you go. It's pretty simple. I'm going to show you how easy this is. Now this one looks probably more complex than you actually might think. The idea with modern design is to make it to the point where everything is as flush as possible and as clean as possible. So if you notice here, I got horizontal grain running across all the faces. We're going to use that as a default for all of our cabinets ordered today. We got flush toe kicks here to make sure that the face of the base molding, which is a separate piece cut and installed right there, it matches up nice and flush with the face. It's on the same plane. Okay, these base cabinets are all regular base cabinets ordered from the regular standard base cabinet section of our website. So you go to BarkerModern.com, click on kitchen, and click on base, and you'll see these cabinets. Now the upper cabinets is a little different. These are all closet cabinets. Essentially, closet cabinets have a different default depth, and we're going to mix the two. By doing that, we can create these base cabinets below, and then we can set some closet cabinets on top. Nobody says you can't mix closets with regular cabinets. There's no difference, really. They're all constructed the same, except for we have some different defaults for each section of our website. But you'll see it as we go through it. Essentially, they're all constructed the same. The only difference between a closet cabinet and a regular base cabinet is that regular base cabinets have a built-in toe kick. Closet cabinets do not come with one, plus they have different depth dimensions as their defaults when ordering. Pricing is also slightly different as well. It all market fluctuates and stuff, but typically closet cabinets are more exposed. So when I say exposed, I mean the interior is exposed, so we need to have that match up with the doors. Whereas standard kitchen cabinets have the face of the cabinet, which is pretty much all covering the interior of the cabinet, which is melamine typically on a standard kitchen base cabinet. Sorry if that's confusing. Probably irrelevant at this point. Okay, let's get going. So I'm not going to go through this. I'm actually going to redesign this whole thing from the ground up. So here's my room. My wall's already drawn. 82 and a quarter. I just pulled that out of a hat. I have absolutely no idea where that comes from. This is not for a project. This is not for a customer. I just pulled that number randomly. Today I'm going to go through and I'm going to put my first two items in, and that's going to be a base two-piece filler, horizontal grain. That's this guy right here. Now obviously that's set up at my default 34.5 for kitchen. We need to knock that down. But you might be saying, well, how tall do I need to make this bench down below? Because that's what we're working on right now. We're working on those two drawers you saw in that previous image. Okay, those things are 18 inches. You might say to me, why would it be 18 inches? Well, that's just the way it's been forever. It's probably been there like that since before I was born, but that's the standard height. So if you go to like a showroom somewhere and they got like a bench set up, it's typically 18 inches. That's the cabinet height, not including your finished top. It's going to go on top of that. But essentially that's what it is. So this is our single drawer base cabinet. Again, we're going to make that single drawer base cabinet at 18 inches. Remember, your toe kick's always included in the height of your cabinet. Pretty neat. Okay, so like I said before, we want to make everything flush though. So let's take a look at this in 3D. And you can kind of see where we're going. We're already starting to build. It's already starting to look like a mudroom. But I don't like this notch right there. The notch is just not doing it for me. So typically when you want a toe kick, recessed toe kick, is somewhere where you're going to be working. So like say you have a kitchen, you got a cutting board, a sink. You're right there. You're standing at the base cabinet. You're trying to reach the back side of the cabinet. You know, to reach the faucet. You don't want your feet kicking into anything. So an acceptable area to use a flush toe kick is going to be on, number one, a tall cabinet, very simple. Also a mudroom bench cabinet, because you're probably not going to be, right there all the time. You can reach for your coat, you'd probably be okay. Okay, it also looks nice and it's just more of an aesthetic choice, but you can always do a recessed toe kick if that's what you want, if you like that look. Okay, I'll work on making sure the lighting looks better on the next 3Ds we do. Okay, last thing we're going to do here on this base run is we are going to want to pull out a finished in panel. You might say, why do we need a finished in panel? Okay, well, finished in panels are used to cover the exposed construction holes on the sides of the cabinet. As I said before, this is a regular base cabinet sold on our base kitchen category, our kitchen base standard category. Now it's got a gray melamine interior with plywood core. Now that gray melamine interior is going to have construction holes going through to hold the cabinet together. So we need to match it up with the face. We need to have something that covers this that matches up with the face for a nice aesthetic look. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a finished in panel, a base finished in panel, and we're going to use that in horizontal grain. And I'm going to get it right over there to the side here. Okay, 82 1/4 is going to be my total cabinet width. Over here, again, this wall keeps going. We're going to assume it keeps going, but for simplicity reason, I just made it 12, so it kind of sticks out right there. All right, so that's where we're at right now. Got that finished in panel right there, and I'm going to drop that one to the floor. I think that with a flush toe kick, I want to drop it to the floor and make it to the point where when you look at the side from this way, you're going to see just the finished in panel and nothing else. So the height of that finished in panel, obviously 18 inches. All right, so we're back to our drawer base cabinet. And I don't like this recess, so we're going to go through here and we're going to make it into a flush toe kick. And that's an available option on our website. You can just go through and click the option to make it flush, and when you order it on our website, and we'll make sure it's flush for you. Here's what it looks like after it's assembled. Now, you might say, look, that's a gray surface. It needs to match the face of the cabinet. Yes, absolutely. That's why we will use base molding, and we'll do that kind of at the final stage. But a piece of base molding is going to run along the face, and that's going to cover the seam between this cabinet and the one next to it. So we have one single long piece of base molding. Now you might say, oh, that's cool. Why can't I just make the toe kick face right there the same color already? We used to do that. We no longer do that anymore because we don't think it looks very good. Here's the reason. Without the base molding, this steps back, and then you have a little bit of a gap right there. We don't like that. We want to put a piece of base mold in there to make it nice and flush. All right, let's do that real quick, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So I'm just going to add some base mold in right here. I apologize, it's taking too long for you, but it's kind of nice looking. And there you go. Nice and flush. So we got our in panel, horizontal grain. We got these pieces going horizontal grain, the drawer fronts. We have the filler. That's a 2-inch wide filler. Horizontal grain. Again, eventually we don't want our drawer pulling out and rubbing on that wall now, do we? Doesn't work very well. And then we got our base molding. Now the base molding is different than a toe skin. Do not order toe skin thinking it's going to come out like the base molding, because the base molding's top has a piece of edge banding on it, and the bottom of it has a piece of edge banding on it. The toe skin is completely raw. So when you open that drawer up, you're going to see, a rough edge, and you don't want that. You order the base molding. It's the same thing as far as dimensions are concerned, but you have a finished top and bottom edge. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are essentially done with our base cabinets, the standard. Let's add the finished top on, and then we'll move on to the closet cabinets. Okay, so here we go. Big finished top right here. Now you might be saying, well, I don't know how tall to make it or how wide to make it. Okay, so what you're going to start out with your overall width of your cabinets, and that's 82 1/4. Now if you pull up our website, we can go here to kitchen base and then go to finished tops. And we do have little tutorials always hidden on our website. Pretty easy. We're going to go through here. We're going to make it overlap 1.5 inches on the side. Okay, so I'm going to make that thing 82 1/4 plus 1.5. No, it doesn't like that. The computer doesn't want me doing that. So I have to drag it over there. So 82 1/4 plus 1.5. So that's my width. My depth is going to be, let's take a look. Depth plus 1 5/8. Or you can go 1 13/16 because we're doing modern. I think that's probably easier. So in this case, it would be 25 13/16. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. And there you go. So we have a nice little overhang on the right side. We also have a nice little overhang on the face. Now, you can feel free to order it at any size you want. I mean, in theory, you could order it at 82 1/4, and it'll be flush with the edge and then flush with the doors if you ordered it at 24 13/16. This, the depth here is 24 inches. I don't think we went over that yet. But you can, in theory. I honestly, when I do my personal projects, I like to have the countertop overhang just a little bit more. I think it looks better. Every time I've done it flush, I always regret it. So anyway, that's just my opinion. But you guys can order however you want because it's fully custom. Okay, moving on. So now what we're going to do is move up to the top. Now, same thing we're going to do here as we did down below. On our normal kitchen tutorial, 96 inches, we need to figure out where do we want the top of these cabinets. Now, 96 is an 8-foot ceiling height, which a lot of people have in their homes already. Okay, so what we're going to go and do here is we're going to switch over to our closet section, and we are going to get some fillers. So here we go. Move it against the wall, and I'm going to make the elevation of this right above the countertop, so 18.75. Okay, pretty good. Now we're going to stick with our closet defaults at 17 inches for cabinet depth, and then the filler obviously is going to sit on the side of that cabinet. So looking at it in 3D, you can kind of see what we have here. Let me just give you kind of a general idea. That's getting started. We're going to make it all flush up here. So now let's go through and let's put the finished in panel in next. I think that's going to be our easiest way, just so we can kind of look at it correctly. So wall closet, finished in panel. It's going to go over here. You might be saying, how tall do we go up to the ceiling? I like to go 4 inches and keep a 4-inch gap, no matter what. If you run it up to the ceiling, take it into 4 inches, within 4 inches. Now, there's a couple options after we do that 4 inches, how to cover it. Number one, you could order a 5-inch, 6-inch tall crown molding and scribe it. That's where you literally have to figure out the contour of the ceiling. Even if you have a brand new house, I have a brand new house and it's terrible. It's just awful. It's it's one of those production houses you see in those neighborhoods. Crazy, but it's awful. The walls are so far out, the ceiling's out. It's insane. But anyway, you can do, my personal favorite on modern is just to do a 2-inch crown and leave a 2-inch gap. You might say, I don't want to see the gap, but your eye doesn't get drawn to it. If you try to go, say, 3 3/4 and leave a 1/4-inch gap, and then there's a big, huge amount of variation in the thing, it's going to have a 1/16 in one area, a 1/4-inch in another, a 1-inch gap in another. It just draws your eye. So try to not draw your eye to anything that's not perfect. The cabinets are perfect for the most part. The walls in your house are not. So I don't care who's got what contractor you have. They're using the same subs. So I don't know. Don't get me started. So anyway, here we go. So I'm going to use that. So that makes our filler and the finished in panel, because they're going from the top of this finished top to the 4 inches below the wall. So essentially that's 73 1/4 inch tall. Sorry, that's on the side. Now, here we are. So that's what we have. Now we're going to fill that area in with cabinets. Essentially what we're going to do here is go on to our newest one, which is the wall exposed alcove cabinet. We just added this one today. Oh, nice. Elevation there is going to be 18.75, because that's the 18-inch base cabinet plus this 0.75-inch tall finished top. And then I'm going to center it on these two cabinets. So the way I typically do this, I just look down here and I go 24. So what is that? 24. Okay. So there we go. I centered that on these two cabinets. Essentially, it's going to have the exact same distance from here to here as it is from here to here. And I can always double check that down here. Notice that I have my overlays. If you're using your own software, same idea. Just make sure it's centered so that your cabinets ordered are all centered. All right, next up, we're going to go do the wall shoe shelf. So that's basically, let's go take a look at it. Shoe shelf is right here. So it's pretty cool because it's got these nice little rails here, and it's going to give you some shoe storage. I know my house needs shoe storage. Granted, I'm not super excited about showing everybody the shoes, but it is what it is. So let's go here, do that. Make sure this one's set at the right elevation. I'm going to move another one over here, and that should be the exact same width. It is. And I'm going to show you what it looks like so far in 3D. Okay, there it is. So what we did there was we added our angled shoe shelves. Kind of hard to tell the angle, but it does have an angle there. And then we have a wall closet alcove right here. And then we have the other shoe shelf. Now the nice thing about this alcove cabinet is that it has an open bottom. There's no deck on this cabinet. Okay. So it's pretty nice because you can just go in here and you can see the finished top. So it's nice and continuous. Notice you have it going through here and out. Now these cabinets sitting down on the top, they need more structure, so they have to have a deck in it. Okay, if you're gonna do adjustable shelves, you can't just have them floating around doing nothing. So that's what we're gonna do. Have a little step up, adds a little bit of detail, but it keeps this area for when you're sitting down. It just has a nice look. All right, so let's move on to the last two cabinets, and we'll wrap this thing up for you. All right, so what we're gonna do here is add in this guy. And this is gonna be the Aventos cabinet. I'm gonna show you what that thing looks like. The reason I like this Aventos, you can order them any way you want. A lot of people come over and they're like, oh, I ordered this flip-up cabinet, and it doesn't have the stay-up lift. We have two. So we have this one, no stay-up lift mechanism, right? You have to hold it open, which is really annoying. So we added these ones on a couple of years ago. It's one of my favorites because it's just got such a slick operating system here. Essentially what we have is we have an arm that holds the door up. Now it'll come with either one or two, so don't get discouraged if it comes with one, because if you have order like a very narrow cabinet, we drill it for two, but we only send you one. We have the calculation to make sure that the power of the arm is done correctly. But that's a side note. So that's an Aventos lift cabinet. Nice little cabinet for storing some stuff that you'll probably never use, including those Christmas decorations, Thanksgiving plates, whatever it is you have there. Okay, for some reason that's not correct. There we go. Okay, so that brings us up to our nominal height. So let's just say that the ceiling height minus our 4-inch air gap. Let's call that our total cabinet height. Essentially 92 inches. We want the combination of a good double check here before you put your order in. Make sure you got your base cabinet. That one's 18 inches plus 3/4 for the finished top. Then we got our shoe shelf or the alcove cabinet, whichever one you want. And then we got our cool flip-up cabinet. Okay, the combination of all of those guys should equal 92 in our case, because 96 with a 4-inch air gap. And what we're left with is this nice looking built-in mudroom cabinet. You're probably saying, well, let's put the crown on. I want to see what that looks like. And we will. We'll do that. Don't worry. All right, but we got the base molding on. We're going to put the crown molding on right now and finish this guy out. This is kind of the bonus level. I like doing the molding stuff. Honestly, when people order stuff, I would prefer everybody order the crown molding. I'm not trying to make money off of people or anything. I'm just saying, like, it looks better if you do all the crown molding. It's like if you drive around down the road and you see like a base model Mercedes. Oh, that's not right. I gotta change this. My default's all messed up. I have some old stuff on there. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So anyway, yeah, you see like a default or just the base model Mercedes, and then you see the ones that are driving around that are all tricked out. I don't know what the AMGs or whatever. I'm not sure what those are, but it's the difference. And it's like when you have a cabinet like this, it's the difference between that base model and the fully loaded version. Add the moldings on. I know it takes a little extra, but it's that extra oomph that really makes it 110% and really gives you that A+ on the project. Okay, so let's review. We're done. Essentially, that's our crown molding. And essentially, when you order that, they only come in 90-inch lengths. Now, remember that it was 82 1/4 plus this return. You're probably going to need 2 lengths. Unfortunately, we can't ship it as a smaller piece because we only have those stocked in the longer pieces, or they get ripped down from sheets that don't get used, so we don't throw them into a landfill, which is nice. So essentially, yes, we do have nice crown molding here. Now that's going to be flush with the face of the doors. So let's take a look at some of the cool aspects of this guy. And there it is. So as you see here, we have this nice crown molding. It's flush to the face of the doors. Now, you might be thinking, well, I can just put crown molding right on the face of that, and doors aren't going to rub? No, we have reveals. That's the gap between the edge of the cabinet door and the top of the cabinet case. There's a little reveal there. You can see the little gap. Okay, nice and flush, very tight reveals with us. Same thing here. When you run it back, just run it flush on modern. On Barker Cabinets, which is our other line, it's barkercabinets.com. I typically recommend bringing it out a little bit because we can do scribe molding and stuff. It's a classic line, more of a classical, traditional, design. But in modern, just make everything flush if you can. And then you go over here. Now you look, there is going to be seams, so you're going to have some horizontal seams here where these cabinets come together. But the nice thing is, with our edge banding equipment, it is top notch. It is literally, it's beautiful. We take a lot of pride in our edge banding. It's got a nice 16th round round over. So when you have these, there is going to be a little bit of a seam, but that's going to be on purpose. It's going to look like you have 1.5 inch stile running there. And a stile obviously is the one that runs from top to bottom, and then this would be like a rail. So you have a 3/4 inch rail, which is really just the face of your top of the alcove cabinet here. And then you have over here, same thing, the stile, and then you got your seam here where this filler connects to the door and to the edge of this cabinet. There's really nothing you can do about the seams, but the nice thing is that they are going to be a good looking seam because there's some treatment there. Okay, so moving on, you can put whatever you want. We don't sell the actual coat hangers here. It's just, that's something you can get anywhere. You can attach those things as you need and then put as many as you want. So like I have 3 kids, so I put maybe 3 of those coat hangers or more because they have tons of jackets. But that's just me. So down here, same idea down here. We have this open shelf here for sitting. And before you email me asking if it's strong enough, it's 3/4 inch plywood cabinets, people. You can put an elephant on there. It's not going to break it, especially when you attach these things to the wall. I mean, especially with these built-in fillers or toe kick, it's just amazingly strong. You could use it. We used to build these things for our work benches when we used to assemble and install cabinets back in the 90s and 2000s. So, finishing panel, nice clean look. Overhang on the top is there, and it's kind of hard to see. These shoe shelves, they're all adjustable. Sorry I don't have the little fence in there. They do come with the fence. I just don't have them drawn in because 3D is kind of a pain. But they are adjustable. You can bring them up and down. I prefer leaving the bottom shelf open and keeping a little space. You can take this shelf all the way down here to cover that bottom shelf and use it as a shoe shelf. But I mean, you're getting a free shelf here when you do it. This one comes with 4. If you order it with 4, it's optional. And then we have some nice big wide drawers. I mean, that's just, for me, that's the best. Having big wide deep drawers. You can put everything you want in there. That's where your snow gear goes. Our drawer boxes are all dovetailed. That Baltic plywood is just so durable and they're so strong. For a mudroom bench, you'll never get anything in there that's going to remotely damage a drawer box. What am I saying? We never had a drawer box warranty issue from damage, but we've had one with a forklift having driven through one from a UPS freight deal, but they're probably going to sue me for slandering them on this video. Apologies for that. Anyway, that's how you break a drawer box. Yeah, drive a forklift through it. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it went on for that long. We're at 22 minutes. It's not good. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is Chad Barker, and our website is barkermodern.com. Thank you.